Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. So today I am talking again to Brigitte Mars at BrigitteMars.com. She is an herbalist and an author. She's written many books on natural remedies for health. And today we are going to talk about hair and a little bit about nails. So thank you so much for joining me, Brigitte.
Thank you so much.
So this is kind of part two. We did part one and we talked about skincare, and not just skincare, but like whole body care in your skins, which is awesome. So now we're going to shift over into hair, because hair is a big subject. A lot of people, especially as we age, it gets very dry. It's, it's not healthy. We have to we're like, what do I do? We put more and more products on it, but there's a better way, right? So tell us about natural remedies in hair.
Well, remember that our hair is part of our whole body. And rather than thinking about that something that we put on topically is going to fix our hair, we need to realize that our hair is made out of things like protein and minerals. And according to the principles of Asian medicine, if we want to have healthier hair, we should really be thinking about the health of our kidneys, because our kidneys govern mineral balance in the body. And so, if our hair is really, dry and lacking luster and so forth, maybe we're drinking too much coffee or too much alcohol, or maybe we're not getting enough nutrients. When I met my first husband many years ago, he was 10 years older than me, and he said, "Do you think any of these natural things that you're doing can help my hair?" And youthful that I was, I read some stuff in a book, and I started making him these like super smoothies with pumpkin seeds and kelp and lecithin and yogurt. And you know what? He came to visit last week. He's in his 70s and he still has a full head of hair. So I think this stuff really works.
Well, I think it does too. That's interesting. You said kidneys, and I quickly jotted that down because I was struck by that. I actually didn't know that the kidneys had to do with your hair. So what can you do to strengthen your kidneys? I mean, that's an interesting take on that,
Yeah, so our kidneys, as I said, they govern mineral balance in our body, and very often when we're exhausted, when we're depleted, we certainly know that hormones, that many different medications can affect our hair, but kidneys love minerals, and a great way to nourish our kidneys is to eat more black colored foods, not things that are dyed black with artificial color, but things that are naturally minerally saturated. So things like black rice or wild rice, black beans. One of my favorites is chia seeds. And we know that if you eat chia seeds, they're high in omega-3s, they're high in really good quality oils that are good for our skin, but also our brain and our hair. It's great food for energy. We can think of things like black sesame seeds. Black sesame seeds are actually an Asian traditional food to eat to have healthy hair. And another one that might be new to a lot of your listeners is sea vegetables. Now, I know you probably have had sea vegetables if you go to a sushi restaurant, and very often they wrap the sushi in things like nori, but you can buy seaweeds at a health food store like dulse or kombu or wakame, and they're sold dried, so it's not like they're all wet and slimy like seaweed can be, but they're so mineral rich because they grow in this mineral rich brine of the ocean. So they give us trace minerals that we don't normally get. And again, if we look at cultures that live close to the sea that eat a lot of sea vegetables, often have really beautiful hair even into their many decades of age. So I think that that's a really important thing to do. So black foods, wild rice, it's really easy to make the switch, and these things taste really good. We also need to look at what is damaging to our kidneys. So too much alcohol, too much coffee, not enough water. So those are a few things to think of. And I'm really big on eating all the colors of the rainbow. But if our skin is dry, our scalp might be dry too. Our scalp is really an extension of our skin. So, things like avocados and good quality oils like olive oil and, again, avocados, raw nuts and seeds. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds are also really great hair healthy foods. And I like to encourage people to eat them raw, because if you plant a raw sunflower seed, it has the life force to grow into a 10-foot tall plant. If you plant a roasted sunflower seed, it rots in the ground. So a reminder that, include more food that hasn't been heated to a high temperature, so that you get the enzymes and you get that spark of life, because you want your hair to be, lively and vital and not, like a dead thing.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard it's dead. Like once it leaves your scalp, it's basically dead, right? Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. And it, comes from here. So all those like commercials to see like grow healthy hair, our hair just grows a quarter to half an inch a month. So it's not going to be immediate, but we do some really damaging things to our hair. And one is using a blow dryer.
Oh, yeah.
It's not necessary. You really could just fluff your hair. Think of like all the electricity we could save. And I realize some people, blow dry their hair as a part of styling, but using that kind of heat on your scalp is really drying. It's just like, would you want to put your face in a dehydrator? That's going to make it kind of wrinkled and devitalize. So I think letting your hair dry naturally is a great thing. Also, because we do, hold so much tension in our head and in our skin. But like, let's say you're sitting around watching a movie, you can massage your scalp in a circular motion. You just kind of massage your scalp as a way of like, thank you for, being my crowning glory. And it's also a nice thing to exchange a scalp massage with your beloved, because we know that the hair follicles can get clogged with sebum, which is a really, fatty, thick, gloppy thing. And so if our hair follicles are all clogged, our hair might not really grow, or we might have, scalp condition like dandruff, for example. But dandruff, which is, common problem, and people go to all kinds of lengths to curb dandruff. If you have dandruff, you might think about eating less sugar and, eating more green leafy vegetables. I think that is probably a theme. I'm always trying to get people to say yes to the greens. So there's a lot of products on the market. If you go into a health food store, you're going to see, B vitamins, you're going to see silica. The B vitamin biotin is something suggested for hair. I think that they're all helpful. And so there are things like that. And there's herbs that we can use for our hair. Some of the herbs that are good for our hair include nettle, which is so high in minerals. Again, nettles is definitely one of my favorite plants. There's also an herb that comes from Asia called Hoshu Wu. Hoshu Wu, which literally means whose hair stays black. And so a lot of us are thinking, how can we help our hair to retain its natural color longer? And so it's important to eat foods that have a lot of natural pigment to them, like beets and kale and purple cabbage and black rice.
Right. What about black seed oil?
Yeah, black seed oil is something I've recently started playing with. It comes from an herb called Nigella sativa, and I think that's really great. I think that's definitely a worthy anti-inflammatory, healing beauty product. And if you do buy it, you want to refrigerate it so it doesn't spoil.
Yes. And one thing as we get older, I've noticed as I've gotten older, my hair has gotten, and skin has gotten a lot drier. And I've heard, it's hormones. It's kind of everything in our body shifts and changes. So it feels like these kind of things become ever more important, not important, but like you can see them, right? You can see it on me if I take my black seed oil and if I eat the dark vegetables and the green leafy vegetables, it immediately, my hormones are better, my hair is better. It's kind of like we talked about in our first conversation, just about you have to treat the whole body. And I think we're very brainwashed into going, okay, my skin is dry, let me topically do something, as opposed to my skin is dry. Oh, this means I need to have more oils in my diet. And and we do the same thing with our hair, right? So I think this whole person idea with balancing out the hormones shows on our hair, right? If our hormones are unbalanced, we're going to have this dry, flaky hair, right?
Absolutely. And, another thing is that, our hair can get very damaged by all the chemical treatments that we use. There are, natural hair products that can color our hair if we choose. Tints of nature and nature tint, things that don't have ammonia in them, things that are non-toxic, that have a lot of nourishing plants in them. So that's, one alternative, because I do think that chemicals that can strip the color out of our hair or color our hair, are usually very strong. And do we want them to be on our scalp, penetrating into our bloodstream? There's been some research that shows that using things that contain lead, not a good idea, can actually be a contributing factor to Alzheimer's disease. So there was a study a number of years ago that showed that wow, we're actually absorbing these chemicals into our body, especially when we put them right on our scalp. And I think another thing is because of dryness, which, as you said, Suzanne, often is more prevalent as we get older, and especially if we live in a dry climate. Conditioning our hair, we can even condition it longer and leave the conditioner in, or things like a simple thing might be olive oil with rosemary added to it. Rosemary is a great hair herb. Rosemary is good for everything to do with the head, and so you can leave it on. I think it's great to brush your hair or comb through your hair while the conditioner's in there. I think we want to be gentle to our hair, not doing these damaging things. And I know blowouts are really popular, but I think if we do that kind of stuff very often, they're damaging. We want to treat our hair like something that we love. And if you want to make it fuller, when you're trying to dry your hair, you turn yourself upside down and you kind of fluff a little bit and let it dry that way. You can tell I have tinsels in my hair. That's my way of, embracing my elder years. Embrace the gray, make it sparkle.
I actually really like your tinsel. I think it's really fun. But I'm glad you brought up the hair color. That was one of my questions, because obviously I color my hair. If I didn't color my hair, I'm about 60% like bright silver, right? And I get it, but because I'm licensed, I can buy nice color and color it myself, so I don't have to pay. And I think a lot of women don't do what I do because it's so expensive to go in and have it done. And my hair grows about an inch a month. So, I basically am coloring my hair every 2.5 weeks, which is pretty insane. And I also have really leaned like, God, I know this isn't the best thing for my hair. I know it would be better if I left, tried to let it go gray and went towards, like you said, the tints of nature, or do something that's non-toxic. I haven't quite gotten there. Obviously, I'm still kind of stuck on this. So I'm glad you brought that up, and maybe you could talk a little bit more about that, because I think there's sort of this movement towards women in our older years letting our hair grow silver and fighting against the idea of ageism, that if we have silver hair, therefore people won't hire us, and I'm in the beauty industry, so obviously that's a huge issue for me. So maybe we can, obviously that's just a cultural phenomenon, we can't do anything about that, but I do love the idea of women embracing silver hair, gray hair, and not caving to what I'm caving to.
Well, I think that it's wonderful that we have lots of choices available to us. And this is actually a little discussion that my group of other herbalist friends, we've all been talking, how are you dealing with it? And we want to really show that, we can age beautifully, and that age is a reflection of our wisdom and our experience. And, I think it's really time to stand up for that. There's beauty in every age. And, so we kind of all wrote to each other about what are we doing, and a few of us have said, well, we're just going to let it go gray, and another friend said, well, I really don't look forward to the growing out process. So highlighting might be a sort of an intermediary thing where we like hair usually naturally is many colors. You might have different streaks in your hair just from sun and exposure, so that's one way of going about it. But I do like the natural colors, and I highlight my hair maybe twice a year. So it's not something I do very often, but the products that I use, the Tints of Nature, I use their highlight kit. It has food grade hydrogen peroxide, no ammonia, and it has all these wonderful nourishing herbs that actually condition your hair, like chamomile and calendula. And so I like that it doesn't smell bad. I don't feel like I'm, flushing dangerous chemicals down the sink, that it's not toxic to breathe, that it doesn't, hurt your skin if you get it on there. And, I do worry about the amount of chemicals, perms, straighteners, things that can so change your hair. I mean, if you look at the ingredients, you wouldn't want to put them in your body. You probably wouldn't want them on your body either. And our skin is very porous. It's said that we absorb about 60% of what goes on our body into our bloodstream. And if we look at, medicine right now, look how many drugs are being delivered transdermally, everything from nicotine patches to, heart medicine. So obviously we need to start thinking about, wow, it's going into our bodies. One example, Suzanne, is deodorants. A lot of deodorant companies are not using methyl and propylparaben anymore, because when they've actually analyzed breast cancers and tumors, there's methyl and propylparabens in there. And aluminum, which has been in deodorants for many decades, aluminum is a very soft metal that it can contribute to Alzheimer's disease. So we want to really be thinking about, we need to protect our brains from these chemicals. And I also like to have my hair loose a lot. Sometimes people say to me, I've got such a terrible headache, and their hair's like in this real tight thing, and they've got like earrings on that weigh like, 2 ounces. And I say, well, why don't you let your hair down? Massage your scalp, love your hair. We have so many choices. It's great. I do get a kick out of seeing elder people that have like purple streaks or blue streaks in their hair, tinsel. So, I think hair is an opportunity to show our creativity. So there's a lot of ways we can do it, but if we can do it and be partnered with nature and be kind to the environment, support companies that care about the environment, I'm on that team.
Yeah, I'm totally on that team too. Let's also hit nails, because nails was something I brought up in the introduction. So let's talk about how your nails can be stronger. This is a big one for me. I can't seem to get mine to be stronger, and I use non-toxic nail products, which I like, but it's like they're always just a little bit like breaking off and nasty.
Yeah, and we don't want to look at my nails today because I've been working in the garden, but our nails are, according to the principles of Asian medicine, are said to be a reflection of the liver and the gallbladder. Mm-hmm. And so when someone says, my nails keep breaking off, well, we should look at, am I eating enough greens? Am I getting enough minerals? Again, seaweed is a really good food for people whose nails are breaking. And if you really can't stomach the idea of seaweed, know that you can at a health food store buy seaweed capsules like kelp or dulse. So it's not something, that you have to hold your nose and eat. There are alternatives. I would also think of, again, green leafy vegetables. And, a theme that has been in our discussion, Suzanne, is the herb nettle, horsetail are both very mineral rich. And when I see ridges in people's nails, I think nettles and horsetail would be really good herbs, not just to drink like 1 cup of, but to, steep the tea overnight and drink like a quart of it a day. So I find you can pour hot water over the herbs, keep it in a glass jar overnight with a lid on it, and then strain it. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do. Recently, I was visiting my daughter in Hollywood, and she, got me a manicure because that was sort of like a mother-daughter thing to do. And I noticed that my nails were not my fingers weren't as agile and like picking up a piece of paper off the table. I thought like, oh, this kind of like gets in my way. That my nails, I really want to be dexterous, and I like to do crafts, and I don't want anything to get in my way. So another technique we can do, because I'm so big on, beauty multitasking, is let's say we're sitting around, we're watching a show, or we're listening to a lecture. We can massage our nails on nails. And then in a circular motion, and then massage the thumb on the thumb. And this is actually an ancient folk remedy for helping to keep our hair healthy, strong, not losing our hair, as well as making our nails stronger. So there you go. And, I think if you are going to, color your nails, nail products are really toxic. I feel bad for the people that work in these salons that are breathing this all the time. They really need to have good ventilation. They need to do Epsom salt baths. But, it really would be great if we support the companies that are, making products that are less toxic. And coloring our nails, I think it's a fun thing to do, but I think especially at our hands, it's good for our nails to breathe, at least most of the time. And we want to be agile and be able to, shuffle cards or, or pick up pieces of paper.
Yes. Interestingly, I bought some non-toxic nail polish. I don't have it with me. Otherwise I would hold it up and mark it. I'll put it in the drop down on YouTube. But I thought, I'll give it a go. And actually it was $13 for the bottle, which is more, right? It's more than the other stuff. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go because I'm big on trying things, right? It's part of my gig. So I tried it and I like it better. I think it holds up better because I actually am a fan of having my nails painted. And part of that reason is because I'm in people's faces. Like I'm touching their face. I'm very touchy as a person. I'm very visual. I'm very, you know what I mean? That's part of what I do. I'm an artist. So I liked it. Don't look at them right now. They're terrible. But generally that's what I do. And I noticed that it actually held up better. So I was really like shockingly pleased because the other one, it didn't dry out as easily either. I think I've had it for maybe 4 or 5 months and I've not had to add anything to it to keep it thick. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, I think that was a lightning strike. I'm sorry, that just scared me.
So $13 for a product that lasts, 4 or 5 months, that's still a good deal. I bet there's more in the bottle that you can use again.
There is, and I'm totally gonna go and buy this product again. I think I bought it at a health food store. I'm sorry, I really wish I had this product. But in any case, I was super impressed with it, and I'm gonna replace my other stuff because I do know nail polish is super toxic. And that's something very simple that we can do to take toxic products off of our bodies. So
yeah, and then the nail polish remover has acetone in it, which is again not good to breathe. So if we're doing our own nails, we should do it in good ventilation. And I'm more about painting my toes, but again, we're blessed because there's choices and alternatives. So whatever it is we feel that we need, maybe there's a way that we can support our beauty and support the health of the planet at the same time.
Right. And I love that idea. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Okay, let's talk about your books and then what you offer to people. So I held this up on the last one. I'm going to hold it up on this one. This is the first aid handbook the natural first aid handbook. I love this. This is so full of great natural ways to heal. So I love this. And then you have one that you're sending to me. Maybe hold that one up. The Natural Beauty.
Yes. Beauty by Nature is everything you can do for hair, skin, nails, and weight. And it tells you everything about, why different ingredients are in the products. And I love doing this book. My daughter Rainbow is on the cover. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to do this. And these are things that I use every day because it shouldn't be drudgery. It's really fun. Natural products smell good. If you end up ingesting some, they're not poisonous, and you don't have to feel bad like, oh my gosh, I know this stuff is going to end up going down the drain and somewhere contaminating our oceans and poisoning the fish, because our planet's in a mess and we can't wait for the government to do something. I mean, hopefully they're going to do something, but we all can make a choice every time we purchase a product. We vote with our dollars. So it's kind of fun because there's a lot we can complain about, but we also have the opportunity to be part of the solution and be beautiful while we're doing it.
I totally agree. Now talk for a second about some of your classes and trainings that you do and just some things that you offer just the general public.
Yes, I teach herbal medicine all around the planet. I live in Boulder, Colorado. I'll have a show coming up on Gaia TV soon on addiction. And I have a YouTube station, BrigitteMars.com. I have a website, BrigitteMars.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, and I do Skype and Zoom consults with people all around the world that have health concerns. So you can find me through my website, and Thank you so much. I love what I do, and I love what you're doing, Suzanne, raising awareness. And, beauty, it's not just vanity. We love beauty. We marvel at a beautiful sunrise. We marvel at a beautiful flower. The pursuit of truth, beauty, and goodness are very high ideals. And, I think it's great to, encourage people to be our most beautiful selves, inside and out.
That's awesome. And that is my approach. It's inside and out. It's not just this external, aging is bad and, inject your skin with a bunch of crap. Like it's all about, because I look at you and you glow, like you just have such a beautiful glow about you. And you're what, 60 what? How old are you?
66.
66. I mean, I want to look this good when I'm 66. And I think that's why I'm going to like do what your book says. Because, I don't want to keep spending money on expensive products. I want to actually get into doing more natural stuff. So thank you so much, Brigitte, for joining me today and talking about hair and nails.
Blessings to you and your listeners. Thank you so much. Love the Beauty Shaman.
Yay. And thank you, ladies, for joining the Beauty Shaman. Please write your comments down below. We would love to hear from you. And also, please look up Brigitte Marsh. She's fabulous. She's got a lot of great insights for you. So thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.